D&D presents the No BS Show. With your hosts, Chris Mize and Doug Dock. It's the No BS Show. Take it away, guys.
What's happening? Doug's behind the scenes. Make me smaller, Doug. You can't. I'm by myself. Here's the deal. Doug's having some technical difficulties, so the show's having some technical difficulties. So I'll be soloing it for a few minutes if anybody comes on. First off, I want to thank all our veterans that are out there. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do these shows. We wouldn't have all the rights we got and our freedoms we got. So we really appreciate you. Want to thank all the military serving overseas in the homeland, protecting our freedoms. We really appreciate you, especially in these times. Thank all our, I'm a little distracted here. Thank all our first responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, tow truck drivers. Without you guys, we'd be in a world of hurt. So I want to thank all you people. So, okay, starting out the show. I know Doug isn't here. Like I said, he's behind the scenes right now. There's something going on with his feed where he can't get on. Imagine that. I wore my cat hat tonight. Honor all the Keystone pipeliners. When Walter Putin first took office, he before I was in the office at Keystone Pipeline, I was wearing my cat hat then, and I ain't forgot about you. I know a lot of people haven't forgot about you. I mean, it's pretty dangerous and bad for the EPA to run a Keystone Pipeline in the United States, but turn around with sanctions and everything over in Germany on Russia to run it through Germany. So if anybody's on, hit the comment section. I ain't getting it. I don't have any comments yet or anything. I don't know if anybody's even watching. So we'll try it. As always, Facebook's, kind of screwed with us pretty hard. I don't know why. I do know why, because you're not allowed to have opinion in this country anymore if it doesn't fit the agenda. So first thing I want to get into is what, we might go off and come back on. First thing I want to get into, though, is we're at the track last night. I haven't got any there. I got comments now. Thanks, Sharon. We're at the track last night, and I'm sure we'll catch some shit back over it. We have our flag at half staff. I know they've ordered it up to full staff and all that. We made a comment in our stances that we're going to leave our flag half staff until this administration says their names. The 13 people that lost their lives. They won't acknowledge them, won't say their names. And it's terrible. I get it that they screwed it up, not us. They screwed it up. The administration screwed it up. They cost them people, they're 13 soldiers serving our country. They cost them their lives. Least they can do is acknowledge it, and they won't. It's so, at that business, the Speedway, we're going to leave our flag at half staff until this administration acknowledges it. Unfortunately, that might be 3.5 years from now when you get a new administration. We had on Curtis last week. He went into the different stuff and stuff that he went through in Afghanistan, Iraq. And we had on, a few other people on this show. We had Mark Paquita on a while back. We had, Sheriff Sigsworth on last year in the, this pandemic. He was in, retired police chief John Orzak. Everything's coming out. If you listen to Curtis's was just a hell of a story. What Curtis was telling us. I would have never imagined. They were out there 36 hours on at a time, 8 hours off. They're on patrol 36 hours, 8 hours off. They never come back to base to 30 days. And our younger kids. Best thing I've seen is Mad Dog Mattis, one of the generals, made a comment. Now, I can't remember how exactly it went. I put it up on a Mimi. We send kids over, and stop and think about what I'm about to say, because it's all in that damn gun bill law that they keep changing the number on, so it's hard to track. We send kids over, kids with guns in their hands, to fight for our freedom, defend every other countries, our country. Then we bring them back home. We tell them, well, this is what we're basically wanting to tell them. You can't have a gun in this country because you don't, we can't be responsible. Want to take the guns to defend your property and everything else. And against, I'll tell you right now, what I consider there's some terrorists coming in the country. It's stupid. The gun bill law is still up in Congress. They're still debating it. The voter bill's still up there. They're debating it. Saturday came. They were supposed to have a protest up there. You didn't see hardly shit on the news about it. I don't know how many ended up there. Some say a couple hundred, some say a couple thousand. It was so much a concern that remember they were going to take the fences down at the Capitol? They did not take the fences down. The fences are still up. They put another fence up. I don't know what to tell y'all. Doug had an old. Doug normally has our itinerary, so I'm gonna wing it. They're passing bills through, people. These bills are gonna pass if you don't write your congressmen and senators. I'm sick and tired of everybody sitting here going, well, what can I do? We can write your congressmen and senators every day. We can't just sit back and say, what can I do? We got Haitians. We got a problem right now with the Haitians coming up through the Mexican border. We're deporting Haitians. You don't see that on the news, though, do you? We're deporting them back. We're deporting them back. We're deporting them back. They're coming up through. You don't see that on the news. If you go back and look, the Delta variant, and I think we touched on this last week. In July, early July, the federal government was saying, this Delta variant is going to get terrible in the spring and fall. Late summer, early fall and fall. Well, they knew, if you go back and look, at the time, Mexico was running rampant in late spring, early summer, and summer with the Delta variant. It was running rampant through Mexico. Surprise. Coming across the border, guess where they're going? The press secretary was asked this week. I don't know if any of you watched this. If you did, let me know. Press secretary was asked this week by a reporter. Walter Putin, President Biden, is mandating through the Labor Department, mandating it's going in. 100 or more, employers with 100 or more are going to have to either have them vaccinated or weekly testing or face stiff fines, $14,000 and up. It's mandated. All federal workers mandated. We went through that last year, except for the post office. He don't want to piss with 600,000 strong union. So then you go, he's mandating all these, he's mandating all these things, executive orders for the vaccine. She was asked the question, are the Afghanistan people that we're bringing into the country, are they being checked and are they being made to have mandatory vaccine coming into the country, along with the Mexicans that are coming in and Haitians coming into the country that we know, are they mandated to get the vaccine? And a typical answer is go to another person or circle back. That's the thing. We'll circle back. And he kept asking her to the point she turned and looked at him and says, you already know the answer, and walked off stage. Pay attention. One of the main things is anytime anybody in this administration gets asked a question that they don't like or they can't answer or they know that answer is already a bad subject, they just walk off stage. How do we do this? How do we allow this? Where do we stop? When a president of the United States of the free world gets on TV and Facebook and everything across every social media there is and gives a speech and talks to us like we're sixth graders going to the principal's office, he started to create, like we touched topic on it last week, he started to create racial divide. Only with vaccinated and unvaccinated. Now you're going to have a racial divide, so to speak, in the vaccination world. What was it? The black and white slowed up. You don't hear much about the media. You don't hear much about Afghanistan in the media, but you hear about this. Now, it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. Hey, let you come back in, Chris. We come on here with our little 15, 20 viewers. Right. I'll get to that in a minute, Tammy. We come on here with our 15, 20 viewers, whatever. We got people over in the comment section room getting kicked out. Kicked, not by us. Facebook's, boom, nailing them right out. Steven's got 3 days. Facebook jail. Robbie Cisco got 30. A veteran got 30 days. I get knocked off. I've got knocked off 4 times 2 weeks ago. 4 times. I mean, when is enough enough? When do we, as citizens, true Americans, say enough's enough? You know, we got an administration that one I really think is incompetent. And if Article 25 ever needs to be put in place, it needs to be put in place now. But you do an Article 25 on either one, the president, vice president, what do you got? You got Nancy Pelosi stepping up. So I don't believe, and I'm going to keep talking here. Doug's not on. Hopefully he comes back on. I mean, this is kind of bullshit we're going through, but I'll try to keep my shit about me tonight. But I don't believe that we should even right now give a mental competency test to the president. I believe the president right now should be brought up on treason charges. I really do. I think treason charges should go forward. We'll never see that. We'll never see that. Yeah, I know. We'll never see that. We'll never see treason charges. You know, Matt Marlowe, you made a statement, Victory Lane. Matt Marlowe's on watching. Congratulations, he's modified champion, season champion at Dust Speedway. You made a statement, Victory Lane, last night. I was standing down there and you looked at me and I said, I don't want to say no more. And you'll never get in trouble for something like that. You'll never. We took the blue Dodge off because unfortunately what we had is our safety truck, Mike Pratzman Jr., put on the back of his tailgate, fuck Biden. And then put, remember these names, and had the 13 names. somebody said something to me, and he was right. You know, there's kids there, and although we feel that way, we don't want to promote that kind of language and that to the kids that are at the racetrack. But Matt, I never, you were right. 13 people died. 13 soldiers died at the hands of this administration. Thousands have died. Thousands have come home missing limbs, crippled, shot. Thousands have come home. The mental capacity is shot. PSTDs. They've seen atrocities. I hope, you know, none of us would ever have to see, and they've seen them. Unfortunately, this administration feels that they should cut funding to the VA because we're coddling our veterans. We're coddling our veterans, and they got to be, you know, the same people that served this country went over, never asked questions, went over and fought and went through what Curtis and them were telling us about. Now we bring them home and we say we can't coddle them. We should be kissing their ass every day. Every day. We should thank them and kiss their ass for what they did and what they went through and what they saw. Not just for us, for other countries, you know. And this administration has the balls to say we need to cut funding to the VA. I mean, they can't acknowledge. I can't get it out of my head. What he said, Chris, was, Matt, it's going to be close, but it's not going to be a word for word what he said. Matt was in his interview being a track champion, and what he said was, you know, we have champions here tonight, but the true champions are the 13 people who lost their lives, 13 soldiers lost their lives that the administration won't acknowledge. And he's right. You know, why would I ever get upset about something like that? You know what I'm saying? You know, that's a true fact. That's what he said, Chris, and I thought it was great, Matt, that you brought that up. You know, the whole Haitian deal. What do we got a serious problem? If you stop and think about this, didn't our vice president about a month and a half ago go to Haiti with a boatload of money, hand them a boatload of money to try to stop this and reform their economy? 6 weeks later, we got an influx in Haitians. What are we doing? I mean, who in their right mind wouldn't think this would happen when they opened up that border? Who? You know, when we get into it, if you get into the Kabul deal, we blew up a white Toyota. Information come in a while back, a couple weeks ago. Information come in that a white Toyota was heading to the airport with bombs. This that we pushed the button. As we pushed the button, CIA was telling the, you know, it's not a good target. It's not a good target. Bomb hits. Hit 10 civilians die in that Toyota that supposedly wasn't involved in anything. Unfortunately, 7 children died. 3 adults is what I'm reading. And you know, our administration basically says, sorry. You know, in war you have casualties, and sorry. What do you see on the media? Stop thinking this. What do you see on the media? Nothing. Not much at all. If you remember last year, Iran had a general, colonel or general, and he was putting attacks on American bases and trying to hurt American soldiers. He was a terrorist. They knew we was going from point A to point B. Trump went, boom, We didn't have that general and that terrorist no more. Blew him up. It was the worst thing in the world that ever happened. Our media crucified Trump. The left wing crucified Trump. Said it should have never happened, and made a big ordeal about it. But yet, what are you hearing about the miscommunication in this administration? Where 10 civilians lost their lives on kind of the same thing. What are you hearing? Nothing. Not a thing. There's nothing being held. There's no accountability with this administration. None. I mean, Doug, I hoping Doug gets on soon, because I'm going to ramble on. He's the one that's got the itinerary, like I said, but the accountability isn't there. Isn't there. They go to 9/11. They go to the ground zero. Ground zero comes. You see anything out of Biden? Harris? No public comments. No public speeches. Just they're there. Trump goes. He makes public speech. He's not even our president. You take a lot of things. I tell you what, I've never seen in my lifetime. And I guarantee you there's some older people on here. Dean's older than me. I guarantee you they've never seen in a lifetime where you got college football stadiums, professional stadiums, concerts all over this country start breaking out in chants. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. This is out of hand. It's out of hand. I wish I could say, Tammy, you were right. Now, when do we say enough's enough? We just keep saying, someday we're going to do something. Someday we're going to do something. Someday we're going to do something. What are we going to do and when? We should be writing every congressman and senator right now. Every single congressman and senator up there, we should be writing every day, sending an email to one of them. Fix this problem. You son of a bitches, you work for us. You work for us. $600. Let me tell you this right now. If you got a house payment that's $602 and you write a check or it comes direct out of your account, the IRS is going to know about it. If you got direct deposit or you go cash your check and it's over $600 every week, IRS is going to know about it. Any transaction of $600 or more in your personal or business bank accounts that goes through, the bank is going to have to report that to the IRS. Not once a month, every time it goes through. Why? Is anybody asking why? What the fuck business is it of theirs? You know why, and I know why. Same reason it's infrastructure bill. 3.2 trillion, 1.4 trillion. You're probably getting tired of hearing that. 1.4 trillion is actually for infrastructure. The rest is bullshit stuff. But in that bill, you better look at it. In that bill is a mileage tax. So you people that drive 5,000 miles a year, hey, you're not going to be too bad. Guys like me, Matt, Chris Stevens, that I know of right off the get-go, you guys that drive 20 to 40,000 miles a year for work and everything, we're going to take it right in the ass. You can go reach for KY all you want. You're not going to get no KY. Yeah, Bristol last night. Fuck Joe Biden. When have you guys ever seen that? This is third world country shit, what we're going through. This is third world country leadership, what we're going through. Years ago, we used to sit and look at countries that are having these same problems, having leaders like we got. and say, what the hell's wrong with these people? Can't they get their shit together? Now we're the ones, all the country, hell, we're the ones, all the countries look at us, say, can't they get their shit together? Stop and think of this. The 10 civilians were killed. And you know what the Taliban's saying? We want justice for this atrocity. They want justice? We're sorry that civilians got killed. Trust me. Us American people are sorry. We don't see any civilian get killed. But they want justice? The Taliban? Are you shitting me? What about the justice for, as soon as we pulled out our Blackhawks, hanging people from the goddamn roofs? What about the justice for them catching Afghan soldiers, shooting them right in the streets? Where's the justice there? Where's the justice when the Taliban told our administration things wouldn't change with the women, they would this, you know, their government? I'd just come out today. Right, Debbie? Just come out today. Taliban pretty much told all women in Afghanistan,
No, government workers, government.
if you're government workers, all the government workers that are women in Afghanistan, if you're government workers or you're in the government, go home. You no longer have a job. You no longer have a job. Here's the key one. Brought it up last week. Taliban said no Al-Qaeda members will be put in the Afghanistan government when they have control. It'll be all legit. No Al-Qaeda members, nobody like that, this, that. One of the highest ranking government officials 2 weeks ago got appointed in to a high ranking office in government in Afghanistan. That man has a $5 million bounty on his head from the FBI from all the 9/11 stuff coming up through. We have 2 planes on the tarmac. They're gone now. They sat there for a couple days with Americans and people getting out of the country that they promised they would get out, because, you know, they promised Joe Biden, you give us names and that, and we'll make sure they're safely taken to the airport. So what's Joe Biden do? Yeah, well, here's their names and addresses. But we have 2 planes sitting there and couldn't leave. Taliban wouldn't let them leave. Why? Their demands haven't been met. Fucking $1 trillion, billions of dollars of equipment that we left there. You heard the story. Curtis Phillips, messed up feet from an explosion. Motor blown right out of the Bradley. All he had to do is actually flip a switch, wipe out all the technology in it. Instead, they hooked the Bradley up, take the chance going 4 miles an hour in hostile area, tow it back to the base, because they're not supposed to leave the stuff there. We leave Blackhawks, C-130s, tanks, ammo, guns, bases, then leave $7 billion in cash at the base. We leave it there, untouched. What demands did they want? Here's what demands they should have got. And I'm probably going to get kicked off, folks, when I start going into this, and I don't really give a shit. Facebook can kiss my ass. Here's what they should have got. Demands? You're requesting demands? Well, here's our demand. Them planes better be in the air in the next hour. And if they weren't, the presidential house in Afghanistan that the Taliban all took over, then went back. Now you got 15 minutes. There's your demands. There's our demand. We'll just keep blowing shit up. How an American president and an administration could sit there and honestly say, We've made an agreement and the Taliban's going to stand by it. You got to be a special kind of stupid. A special kind of stupid. Yeah. China's, well, their ports, Greg, their ports are closed because of coronavirus. Didn't you hear that? Their ports are open to receive the grain and wheat and everything we're shipping to them. They're open for that. We're shipping them food. They're open for that. And you remember when Trump got into it with China about taxes and that? And Trump says, we just ain't going to send you the wheat and grain in it until we figure this out. The farmers got mad. Would it take about a week? Would it take about a week? All that was straightened out. No. Instead, they are crippling this country. Drive by a car dealership. I don't know what it's like down south, Greg, but drive by a car dealership around here. They're empty. Unless it's a used car, they're empty. Because all the chips are sitting in a port over in China. But we're still sending them grain. We're still sending them wheat. We're sending them all this stuff. China turned around a couple weeks ago and blamed us for the coronavirus. Said the coronavirus is manufactured and made in a place in Wisconsin. It started in China. And if you go read the numbers, they're only claiming 90,000 to 100,000, 120,000 infected out of millions. Billions. They got what? 1 billion? India has 2 billion or close to 2 billion people. They got 1 billion people. 100,000? You know. Yep. Well, I got a news flash for all you. There's quite a few racers on here. Remember back in the Obama administration, the EPA, they were trying to put a bill through. Couldn't mess with the motors, this, that, and the other. And what they were trying to, you couldn't alter any motor that comes straight from the factory, which would have not crippled racing. Not crippled racing at all. It would have put racing out of business. Remember that? The big fight was on, and everybody, remember about 5 months ago, me and Doug says, hey, they're starting that shit up again. Guess what's going to be a topic in Congress? That EPA bill. The EPA bill where you can't alter this. Pay attention. We're worried about Joe Biden getting on TV last week. And if you weren't pissed off at after that speech, I'm not too sure I want you watching this show. We're worried about that. We're worried about the vaccine mandates coming out and everything. And it's a grand illusion that you should worry about it, but you're not paying attention to what they're doing over there. David Copperfield uses this trick all the time. He has you watching something here, and this hand over here is doing 20 things you ain't seen. That's exactly what we're doing in this country right now. Throw a smoke screen up and pass shit through. All in the middle of the night. I'm telling you right now. You better start paying attention with your congressmen and senators in Ohio or your state. Greg, in your case, Georgia, start writing them in your state legislation. Start writing your federal ones. Email them. They're real easy to get their addresses. Start listening to people like Mark Paquita. Listen to what he says about all this. You want senators going in that are going to stick up for us. Mark Paquita is so much for the middle class and American people that the GOP's sticking it in his ass. The Republicans are sticking it in his ass. You know? Oh, NASCAR don't have a problem. There's other places don't have a problem, Joe. The problem is here's what we did. Getting off topic a minute, just because the chip's a topic over in the comment section. Here's what we did. Years back, we outsourced this shit. So, and I blame corporate America. What we did was we went to Mexico, we went to China, who, if you go look at their work rules or whatever you want to call it. I can't even think of the name of it. Labor laws. There's no labor laws. So we went over there. So what it costs an American company, say $3 to make a part. They're getting it for $1.25 over there. Everybody started outsourcing over here. To the point where we've outsourced everything. So now we're crippled because we're not making our own chips. We're crippled. Now, the administration, if you keep up on that, Greg, the administration said by November we should be distributing our own chips from the United States. Let me ask you guys a question. When a brand new car comes out, they come out with the new model, everything this year. How many of you sit there in your house and say, you know what? I like that car, but I'm going to wait 2 years. Let them get the bugs out of that because everything's new. They don't have. I'm going to let them get the bugs out of that. What the fuck do you think's going to happen with these chips? You want your chips? Quit sending them food. Simple. Already worked once. Quit sending the chips over. Hey, when's our shipment of grain and wheat coming? Well, you know what? We got Corona at our ports too. We shut them down. But fortunate for you, Mr. Chinaman, fortunate for you, if you send a ship over with them chips, we'll open a dock up and we'll make sure they get unloaded. So here's the deal, assholes. You send a chip over, when a boat shows up with the chip, we'll send a boat of grain over. Eye for an eye. You want to send the boats over? Bring them over. We'll send ours over. Other than that, we got coronavirus too. Our ports are shut down. It's the only thing we have, people. You're right, Ed. And, Joe and Ed in the comment section. We give millions of jobs away through the years, Joe. Millions of good paying jobs away because we started allowing this shit to happen. Taiwan, Mexico. Japan's not our enemy anymore. Remember back when we were kids growing up? Don't buy a Japanese car. Don't buy Japan's come over to this country and they got full-blown factories, auto plants and everything. We make it all over here. We got good paying jobs from Japan. We're all looking at Japan and blaming Japan for trying to steal all our technology and this, that, and the other, and wasn't paying attention to China. And next thing you know, China steps up, smacks us right in the face. I mean, if you come down to it, Ed, the EPA bill, if it passes, we're in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of people. I mean, that goes right into construction industry, car dealership, car manufacturers, auto racing, drag racing, right down the line. The muscle cars of yesteryears, they're going to be outlawed. You're going to have to do something to fix the problem. It's, we're voting in Ohio. We're voting. We got on the floor, and you guys heard this a million times, probably sick of hearing it, but we got on the floor about sugar cookies being a state cookie. Weirdo cat lovers of Cleveland is a license plate. We've listed off 7 things that are on the floor right now that haven't got a damn thing to do with this pandemic. Our small businesses going out of business, everything. And I'm going to bring this up again. like a broken record. Last year, in the heart of our pandemic in Ohio, and Greg, you might even be able to chime in on this too. In Ohio, these people that are watching this, how many people in the heart of it last year when we were locked down knew people that had COVID? I know you knew some people, but how many? How many people did you know? And them numbers were, whew. I'm not saying COVID isn't real. I know it's real. Trust me. We've been dealing with it in the racing industry, especially in Ohio. It's real. It'll get you. But how many did you know? They had the numbers. Woof. Sprinkles. The numbers are high. We got to lock everything down. Now, if you take a look, we're opened up, running around. How many people do you know have COVID? Because I can tell you right now, I know a shitload more right now than I did last year. The numbers are right there, floating. We shut Ohio down at 400 to 600 cases a day. We went up to 8,000, 10,000 cases. Remember? Dwayne was going to send a goon squad out because you couldn't have your family at Thanksgiving, Christmas. Remember that, Debbie? You know, you can't celebrate Christmas. You can't go see the grandparents. You can't go here. You can't stay in your home. You know, we got the same numbers. We got the same numbers, but I know 30 times more people got it right now or had it. You ever think because of the administration up top, they've deflated the numbers right now and inflated the numbers last year? That's my conspiracy theory if you want to get into it. Many people I know getting it. My own family had it. I'll let the cat out of the bag now. My own family had it. Month ago. Mike Mazzagatti right now, laying in a hospital bed. I pray for him. It's just in the last few weeks. C. Schwartz passed away from it. Complications of COVID. You know, Dwayne Workman got out of the hospital. My daughter and my grandbabies. You know, the list goes on. And you know what? That's Dean. That's the question I'm asking. I know. I don't have an answer. That's the answer I'm asking. Mike's still on the ventilator. We're praying for him. That's what I'm asking. Every American should be asking this. I can't. I'm not. I said this in a joke. I'm not an educated person. I graduated high school. I didn't give a shit about education when I was in high school. I cared about playing sports and chasing girls. You know, that's just the way it was. But, you know, the problem is, I froze on Tammy's video. I'm probably getting booted. But the problem is this. If I can see it, Dean, why can't a lot of other people? Why can't a lot of other people? Hey, there's Douglas Stock.
Hi there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I made it.
So why can't a lot of other people see it? I mean, they told us, remember this, Doug? I know you just jumped in. It is an airborne. Remember that? It is an airborne. It isn't.
Yeah, I found that out.
Yeah. So Doug doesn't leave his house for 4 weeks. Honest God truth, 4 weeks. Last year. January, wasn't it? This year.
Yeah.
Doesn't leave his house for 4 weeks. January, February. Guess what? Oh, Doug left us. There he is. Guess what? Doug comes down with COVID.
That I did.
Figure that one out. Never left the house. Like all the scientists, and if we stay in the house, we'll be okay. If you wear a mask 2 weeks, we'll cut the curve. We'll flatten the line. That flatten the line bullshit, Doug, lasted what? 5 months, almost a
Right.
year.
Yep.
Now, like I said, stop and think about that. I'm not throwing conspiracy theories out there, but stop and think what I'm saying. In the heart of it, when our numbers back, November and December were 8,000, 9,000 a day. Remember that? Why are they still messing with us, Tammy? But at the heart of it, I didn't know too many people that had it. Very few. On one hand, maybe. Now, in the last month, I can use both hands.
And most everybody says that too. And different administration, they count differently.
Well, yeah, it's yeah. Sharon's okay. All right, Doug, you had an itinerary.
Yeah, so I heard what you were saying, and you just briefly mentioned about Afghanistan, and we made an oopsie over there. We sent a drone over the horizon, and we actually ended up killing 10
people, three adults, 7 children. And here's the thing. Same with me, Chris, back when I shut. They're freezing us up because I said kiss my ass.
One of those kids were 3 years old, and the father had went to wherever it was blown up at, and he tried to pull the little girl out, and of course he said her body was just completely burnt. The issue we issued an apology, so hopefully everybody's okay with that.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no one being held accountable for it.
No
Somebody gave them intelligence and said, this is the car that has these people in it, and then we touted it for probably 2 or 3 days about we did this precision strike on these Taliban people. And I heard it last weekend. or a weekend before. I heard that it wasn't them, that it was this family, and I couldn't get it verified because they were keeping that.
Oh yeah,
they were keeping that off of any kind of news. So I didn't want to say it because I don't want to start rumors. Not me. So we didn't touch on it, but it ended up being that. And then you did mention the Capitol protest. There was, they said at the most 300 to 350 people, but it was only half of what they expected. They only expected about 700 people there.
I believe it's more. I've seen some pictures.
Okay, but it's coming from the people who actually put on this event, and they said they were disappointed because they thought they'd have about 700 people there. They weren't expecting mass crowds, but the government was. So we spent all this money putting up all this fence, getting all this military ready, and all these police officers spending all that money for to keep some people in the park happy or protected.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, stop and think. The people that are really going to react aren't going to go protest right now, Doug. It's beyond protesting. It's beyond protesting. Protesting is not going to get you anywhere right now.
No.
It's beyond that.
No,
and
you're going to need a little bit more firepower than that.
Yeah, and this will probably really get us kicked off, this comment. If you look at the Constitution and amendments, in a part of it, I can't name the number, Doug. You might be able to, but it says, we the people.
Yes.
Have the right.
Yes.
To take it back.
Yes. Now, I heard this on my way home last night, that the federal government was actually put in place by the states.
Yeah.
That The states have more power to tell the citizens to get a shot than the federal government does.
What's that?
So the state has more power than the federal government does to tell you to go get a shot. Not that they can do that,
Yeah,
but they would have more say than the federal government, because they're the ones who put the federal government in place.
State overrides federal.
Yes.
Someone needs to go up and knock on the door up there at the White House. Say, hey, Mr. Walter Putin, you better read this shit. You've been in office, some kind of office for 40 years. But the smartest thing I seen DeWine say, Doug, and I'll go back. I know we talked a little last week. The smartest thing in 18 months, 20 months that I've seen Mike DeWine say was, I don't agree with this shit.
Right.
Basically, right. I don't agree with this shit. You know what? I'm not going along with this. I know I'm a Republican, a Democrat disguised as a Republican. I'm more left than most Democrats, but he went over the border here. That an employer is a private industry, not state or federally funded or governed. You're an employer. That's your decision what you do with that.
Yeah, because the federal government basically put it on the backs of the companies with 100 or more
100
employees.
or more.
So what's happening with the companies is they're going, hey, I'm kind of being forced to make, and it's happening all over the place. There was a meteorologist out of a TV station, and I can't remember where, been there for 40 years and said, I'm not doing it.
Out the door.
You're out. Because, the media, any company doesn't want the federal government coming down on them. You know what that can bring.
Well, what you're seeing now, too, and I forgot to talk to you about this, but what you're seeing now, too, is like, say, a trucking company has 200 employees. I'm not going to say which one, because
I know which one.
I haven't checked into it, but I'm not going to say which one. But what they've done is created 2 more LLCs, created 2 more companies. Now they only got about 80, 90 employees at each company.
Right. So now the company doesn't have to force anybody and lose people in the meantime, because there's going to be people that you make me get a vaccination, I'm done. And a lot of people will stick to that, and off they go.
And rightfully so.
Yes.
Rightfully so.
But who pays the price? The owner of that company.
The owner of the company.
You also mentioned about that $600.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add to that. If you sell something, if you sell something online, Facebook Marketplace, I think the newspapers, anything, and it says $600, you get a 1099K at the end of the year from that place. So if you sell it on Instagram, if you sell it on no matter what, eBay, wherever you're selling it, all them companies now have to send you a 1099K. That's how they're going to get you.
Is this bill, because I'm
so many bills
I
going through.
I thought, yeah. Is this bill already passed, the 600?
It's already passed.
Is it already passed? Well, imagine that. Imagine that. Wait here now.
That's what I said. Well, we were all worried about Afghanistan, getting our people out, and military equipment that we gave to the Taliban. We're passing bills
bills in the middle of the night,
so that
that's why they put another fence up, Doug.
Yeah. So it's not so much what you spend or what you have in your account; it's your income. So when you sell something or you buy something, you're getting something at the end of the year on it, if it's $600 or more. And they do that with the lottery, and now they found a way to do it with personal stuff. So if I came to you and said, you want to buy my TV? Yeah, $600. We better not let anybody know. I better not be giving you a receipt or anything. I don't want to put it on any website, because you're going to pay for it.
And it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You've already stop and think about this, people. Okay. Let's say I buy a TV. Let's say the 75-inch that Debbie bought
Damn.
last year.
She goes big.
That's
You know, they went in to buy a 60-inch, what I wanted, Doug. I told you that story. And the next thing I'm sitting down in this chair and I hear them talking about the 75-inch.
Right.
But anyways, I don't know. Let's just throw a number. It was 1,400, 1,200, whatever it was. So now I paid for that, working every day with my paycheck that's been taxed. It's been taxed. State, federal, you know, Social Security, the whole 9 yards. You guys know what comes out of your checks, city tax, whatever. So, right now they got to try to gain it back, Tammy. Right. So, I've been taxed for my paycheck. Yeah, you better have it $599.
Right.
You're gonna see a lot of titles
maybe
in.
they'll tip you.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of titles going in the title bureau. How much
Right.
you pay for that 2018 Ford F-150? $599.
Right.
But
Friend of mine sold it to me.
yeah, I just bought a 75-inch TV with money that's been taxed already.
Yes.
Now I
Yes.
pay a sales tax on that TV.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Now I bring it home. Now I decide I want to get a better TV. So I turn around and I sell that to Jim Bob down the street for $650. Now they want to tax it again.
Exactly.
If you
Same
got a
with
used car, used car,
go with a car. A new car is taxed. If you sell it, it's taxed.
Yeah, and let's say, Doug, these used car lots, they might pick up a car that's 4 people into it. Now,
Right.
5th person's coming to buy.
Yep.
Now they want to, they tax it now. You
Yes.
got to pay that tax when you go. But
Yes.
now they want to add more tax. That car's then paid 5 times you've taxed that car. Now and the mileage tax is coming out. The mileage tax. I touched base about that. That's in the infrastructure bill. Every mile you drive, they want to tax you. So, what are they going to send a goddamn mileage police to your house? Okay, it's December 31st. How many miles you put on this year?
This is how communism works. They know how far you drive. They know what your income is. They know what you're spending your money on. They make money off of you.
It's called wealth distribution. Is about that.
It's yeah. We're real close to socialism. So
distribution of wealth.
Next step's going to be worse.
And you guys getting to see my arm here. I'm running out of something to drink. I was getting nervous because you weren't on, Doug.
I was getting nervous. I was going to send you a message say, just go at it. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Tax. How many times can you tax? I tell you what. You can tax it till 99 cents. $1 to 99 cents, Joe. That's what they're doing after they hit that. I mean,
how many times can a car be taxed?
You get $1. You get a car, by the time it's paid taxes. Imagine how much you paid in taxes.
Yep. We'll go to socialism, then we'll almost be at communism because they pretty much control. He made it really glaring when he said, when he divided the people and said there's those that are vaccinated, those that are unvaccinated. And I understand you that are vaccinated, how frustrated you are with those that aren't.
That was clear cut.
Yeah.
Tommy, the problem you got with that is this house, in my opinion, this is how stupid the government is right now. They're taxing $600 or more. They want to go to a cashless society. You're right. But smart people like us are going to start keeping our money out of the bank and cash it in the house. We're going to go back to years and years and years back where, gold and silver, if you got that, you better hold on to it, and cash, because you're going to see a socialist communist country if we don't straighten out. Venezuela type, Doug, where whore deals are going to be made on the street. And if you got cash, you're king.
Yes. And
I mean, the
people
government can try to push that cashless society all they want, but cash and gold and silver will never go away, Doug.
remember, people were afraid of banks back in the day.
Yeah, the Great
And
Depression.
right. So then banks finally got stable, and now it's going back to that. People aren't going to want to be using banks anymore. Watch these banks start to fall.
The banks are fighting it.
This is just going to be ugly.
The banks are fighting this. They have no option.
Good luck to them.
They're not going to win.
No,
They're not going to win. The bill's passed. The only way you can win is hire a lawyer, and you know what? 5 years from now, they'll still have it in court tied up somewhere, and we'll all be, punching a clock and having to show a card to punch a little computer chip. We're leaving our house.
Show your back card before you go out.
Yeah,
and listen, that whole back card thing is becoming really bad. There's fights all through restaurants, and people are screaming and hollering that they're being thrown out because they don't show a vaccine card. And this is America. It was America. And
like I said, last week, when you got to show an ID of some sort to go vote, then I'll show a vax card. I got one, but what I'm saying is we're crying, and this is the left wing, and I can't believe I'm still registered Democrat. This is the left wing that's going, my body, my choice. Remember all that shit?
Yeah.
And then saying, if you got to have a voter ID to go into vote, it's discrimination, racism, which I don't understand how that is, Doug, but whatever. But now you got to have a vaccine card. You're going to go take a shit here pretty soon. You're not going to be able to go to a porta potty. You got to scan a vaccine card.
I have heard credit unions are the way to go, and money market, and stay away from the banks. Brown Stadium's cashless.
Yeah. I wonder if they were chanting today.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, you were on 30-day Facebook jail? Huh. Watch what you say in here, because they've been yanking people out of here.
We usually talk after the show, and we actually ask about you. Wondered what happened.
Yeah, we were wondering where you
now
were.
we know.
Now we know.
Was it this show or a different show?
It's probably a different show. 3 hots and a cat. Should have said something. I'd have sent you some commissary money.
Right.
You know what? You're right, Tammy. But the thing of it is, listen, and I'm starting to believe, Doug. I told him 3 months ago. We got off this thing and discussing it too, and we discuss it all the time. You know what? We're gonna stand up. People are gonna get tired. They're gonna stand up. I'm sorry, everybody will.
There's going to be a civil war, and I said I doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen. And if you think about it, there was a protest over the weekend that had 200-300 people there. That's the beginning of what you're going to see. You're going to see these little factions of people popping up. Okay.
Hold on. Go ahead, Doug. Leave that comment. Here's the sad thing going on Facebook, Doug. Here's a real sad thing, and I hope you guys listen to this. She posted a quote that somebody else said, and we've gotten our asses nailed a little bit on this, where we put video. We didn't say it.
Right.
The administration, people in administration said it. We didn't say it. She didn't say it. She posted a quote that was already said and out in the public, and Facebook's nailing people on it. This ain't the first time, Deborah. I mean, I've heard a lot of people getting popped for posting a quote that they didn't say. Oh, yeah, Ted Nugent. Yeah, well, maybe if it was one of his, he probably got popped.
Can only imagine. So
it's way too late for protest, Tammy.
Yeah, it's
protest should have started back in April, May. Anybody couldn't see
January
this coming.
7th.
Yeah, January. Yeah, Oh shit! It started at 6, but anybody who didn't see this coming back in May, June, we were crying like little bitches on here, weren't we, Doug?
Yes.
You can't see what this administration is going to do, but it should have started then. What's a protest going to do now? They've already slipped bills through. They're putting an infrastructure bill in, 3.2 trillion, with 1.4 trillion only for infrastructure. Haiti. We had our vice president went to Haiti. Remember that, Doug?
Yeah, and obviously she brought them all back because they're coming through the river down there.
Yeah, but she took a plane full of money. Remember that? They were going to inject a bunch of money to save their economy and make them want to stay. Where'd the money go? I can tell you where it went. It went to the government, and they pretty much said, "Fuck you, people, go on up there."
Right.
Leave.
So Lord Walter Putin has what's called a chief of staff. And the chief of staffs are the kind of the advisors, military, what should happen. Now, here's how this is supposed to work, at least from what I understand. The way it's supposed to work is the chief of staffs are kind of his guiding. They kind of guide him. This is a great idea. This is a good idea. We should try this. We shouldn't try that. They're kind of separate entity from the military. They're military people, but they work alongside the president, just giving advice. If the president takes their advice or not, the next call he makes is to the commander and the commanders of the forces. Okay.
All right.
General Milley, have you heard his name?
Yep.
He is the chief of staff, and he was the chief of staff to Trump.
Yeah. Turncoat.
And he called over to China and told them, I don't think we're going to bomb you or go to war with you, but if we do, I'll give you a heads up.
What?
You didn't hear that?
No.
He called over. He let them know that Trump was mentally unstable, and
oh yeah, I heard this.
They
took the code away from basically that. What they said was, if Trump tries to push the button, that command's got to come through me.
Correct. Yes.
Back toward Trump.
Yes.
That's treason.
Okay. I'm wondering if anybody else was on the same page with me on that. That has to be the biggest form of treason.
Why would you call China up and disclose anything that we're doing? That's treason itself. Talking about, basically, yeah, he basically said our president's gone nuts right now. We don't know where his mind state is. So, if something happens, I'll let you know before it happens.
Right.
That's treason.
If anybody in the military ever took information over and said that, they'd be charged with treason.
Right. The FBI, just remember, it was a 10-year-long investigation trying to nail that one guy a couple years back. They finally got him with Russia, giving information to Russia. He spent a life in prison. Treason, spy. But it's okay now, though, see, because he's coming public with everything he's doing and said that Trump just shut up after, before the January 6th insurrection, he was, he shut up. He wasn't talking. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But nobody's doing anything about it.
Right.
Nobody's doing anything about it. There's no accountability. Doug hit it. There's no accountability in this administration for anything they do.
Anything.
But like I said, we took out, I can't remember, a colonel or a general, the Iranian. Remember that, Doug? We were talking about this. We took out a terrorist that was setting up after our bases. Remember that? He was trying to bomb our bases, setting up terrorist acts. and he's on his way from point A to point B. Trump knew it. Boom. That's the only person, him and his chauffeur, were the only two people killed in that, Doug.
Right.
The left wing went nuts.
Right.
The media went nuts. We have generals doing what you just said, and we have Walter Putin doing what he did with Afghanistan, leaving everything there. We have, somebody pushed the button and wiped out 10 civilians, 7 kids, and there's no accountability. We're sorry. We're sorry. And the worst part about that is if you look into that, Doug, about 1 second after they went, boom, CIA was sending alerts out, abort, don't abort. It's not what you think, abort. It was 1 second or 2 seconds too late, is what they're saying. Okay, that's what the media is bringing out now, that the CIA's, alert to whoever's pushing that button was 1 second too late. He should. He should. He should. He should be tried. He should be removed from office right now, admitting. This is how fucked up a country we're in, Doug. Admitted that he committed treason.
Well, Biden standing behind him said that he acted within the scope of his authority. He is to talk with these other generals and things like that. I don't know if that's true or not. I doubt it. I don't think that you would give up secrets like that.
Whatever. Senate Parliament rules against including immigration reform in $3.5 trillion. This thing.
Now, here's something that might make you smile a little bit.
Not much makes me smile.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. He's standing behind everybody because other people are making the shots, calling the shots.
Exactly. He lets everybody know that too. Stupid. The Clintons could unravel here soon because their lawyer, Michael Sussman, was indicted, accused of lying about the capacity in which he was providing allegations to the FBI, providing information about potential ties between a Russian bank and computer servers in the Trump organization. So this is the same guy that had the dossier and all that.
Yeah, he's going down.
I tell you what, if he turns, he probably won't be around much longer.
No, he'll commit suicide.
Yeah. Is that what it's going to be called?
Yeah, suicide. That right there. Let me ask a question. Deborah, you're pretty intelligent on this. Should or should not, if that general went to the vice president, sat down in a closed meeting with the vice president, isn't there a chain of command? President, vice president, speaker of the House, correct? Should he or not went to the vice president with his concerns instead of taking it upon himself to do this? Am I wrong? Doesn't that general?
He thought or thinks that he has that authority to talk to other countries because he talks to them all the time. Remember, they all talk.
Yeah, they all talk, but
you don't say something like that, especially about your commander in chief. And yes, he did consult with Pelosi.
But Pelosi's the Speaker of the House. She's not the vice president. The vice president's the next one in command. Miley should have consulted with the vice president. Never should she have consulted with Speaker of the House unless the president and the vice president are incapacitated. Then the Speaker of the House takes control.
Mm-hmm.
Gets sworn in, boom, control. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
It's treason. And nobody's going to do a goddamn thing about it.
No.
I know you had a couple other things.
Yeah, I do. I do want to show you something though, because I think those pretty upstanding. Baker Mayfield
Yes.
wore these shoes today. Those shoes, in honor of Max Soviak.
Soviet. Yes. Max and Soviet from
It
Berlin
was,
Heights.
yep, pretty awesome. Wore those during the game.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We got. Let me just go off real quick. I won't take a lot, Doug, but we got NFL players that took knees and everything else. Now we got them. Now we got one that was on the fence with the knee and shit. Remember that, Doug? Because now he's wearing shoes that are honoring a fallen soldier, and that from Ohio. That says a lot. And to me, I mean, I might become a Baker Mayfield fan again.
Yeah.
Not sure, but I might.
Right. Right.
But
All right.
one more thing, real quick, while we're on this, Doug. I'll shut up then. Jason Wells. Stand up move last night at Sandusky Speedway. Stand up move. Ceased work, like we talked. Lost her battle, lost her fight, COVID related issues. Passed away last Friday. Week ago this past Friday. Jason Wells ran a race last night in the modified division. Pretty good payout that he won. Brought her dad down on the front stretch. Donated that winnings right to the costs of the funeral and everything. So I want to give props, and we'll do it again Tuesday night. But
yeah,
stand up, move.
We had a couple moving moments there last night.
So yeah. And fuck Joe Biden. I was waiting for the chant to break out. I mean, seriously, Doug. When's the last time you've been around longer than me? When's the last time you ever seen this country chant that shit in stadiums against a president?
I've never heard it against a president ever. And even when Nixon went through his stuff, you never heard it. You had people who liked him and people who didn't like him, and you never heard anything like that. I don't know of any president, even Bush in his worst times, you never heard stuff like that.
It's an atrocity. I mean,
okay. Do you remember Hudson, Ohio? Do you remember us talking about Hudson, Ohio?
Yeah, where they cut the news feed.
Yes. Well, they're back in the news. This time it's their school system. Because they have a class called Liberal Arts 2 class. And the teacher gave all the students a book. And the book is 642 things to write about. So so you can get some ideas of what to write about. I'm going to turn red saying a lot of this and be very embarrassed. This is some of the things. I just pull out some of the things that are in the book. Choose how you will die. Write a scene that begins with, "It was the first time I killed a man." Describe your favorite part of a man's body using only verbs. You have a dream that you murdered someone. Who is it? How and why did the murder happen? And what happens afterward? Write a sex scene you wouldn't show your mom. Rewrite the sex scene from above into one that you would let your mom read. You have been just caught in bed by a jealous spouse. How will you talk your way out of this?
This in high school?
Yeah. Write a sermon for a beloved preacher who has been caught in a sexual scandal. Describe a time when you wanted to orgasm, but you couldn't.
They're in high school, right?
Yes. You are a brand new suicide hotline counselor. Describe how you feel during the course of your first call. Write a letter from the point of view of a drug addict. write an X-rated Disney scenario.
Oh, Snow White. Remember they took that
Hey.
scene out.
A
Peppy
room full of people who want to sleep together, and then the first time you had sex. Are you speechless again? This is the second time.
But
What?
well, Pepe Le Pew, Yosemite Sam, and this
Mhm.
what? Okay, what's the school board saying about this?
Wow.
I'm sorry, people. I'm reading what she says. You know, yeah. You're right. You're right. The
Yeah, you
teacher
write a
should be
topic.
stripped.
You write it. Oh, you're talking about that.
The
That you
teacher should be
talked about
stripped.
writing.
No, the teacher should be stripped of her credentials as a teacher, and blackballed, never allowed to teach again. Along with the principal, like she says, and everybody else. This had to be in what do they call the plan? Their plan that they made, curriculum. It had to be in it.
And usually, at least back in the day, the curriculum all had to go through the school board to be approved, and what books you were using and things like that. They
Right,
did all that.
You're right, Chaz. They need to recall right now.
And that's what they're trying to do. And it's just, I don't know where it's at right now, but at the time, I think, Deborah, maybe you can tell us a little better. I think they're defending it by saying that they didn't really know completely what was in it, and they were told to ignore some of the stuff.
How can you, school board, Chaz has said they approved it. How can you approve? Every single one of them need to be charged, not just removed.
With what? With what?
Exactly what she said right here. Pornography distribution, along with, principal and the teacher should be charged with pornography. Listen, you can't. Granted, okay, and there's a lot of people my age on here. A lot of shit went on in high school. We all know we're not innocent. Shit went on, but it was never promoted like this, Doug. Back in my day, you were never asked a question. Well, about orgasms. Oh, when was your last orgasm and how was it? A school teacher, we might have said something in the locker room to somebody like that, hey, man,
Right.
But it's been going on for 6 years.
So this police officer, Eric Durker, he's from Stowe, and he says he wears a body cam. He's a police officer. He wears a body cam for brief interactions with people. If it's a traffic stop, if a lot of times you'll see them when they walk up to you, they'll turn it on, have a conversation, and go about their business. Just security. They have our kids for 8 hours a day, and we have no idea what goes on behind those walls. You have no idea what that teacher is teaching your granddaughters. No idea. They let you come to a parent-teacher meeting, and during that, they make sure that the room's all clean and everything's laid out for you so you can see how great things are.
Here's
why don't we have cameras why don't we have?
We need them. We need them in there. Here's the next question. All right, I'm. Let's get off the sex shit alone should never be allowed. Them questions should never be allowed. Stuff like that.
And nobody's being held accountable for it.
Right.
Somebody had to say okay to this.
And Chaz says school board, no, they've been doing it for years. So just put the sex shit out of the way. Why would you ask a high school kid about murder? these questions about murder. Why would you, not to tell the parents and not to take the book home? You see that? Put that one out.
See, I did not know that either.
Fucking believable. I can't imagine anybody defending this. This is the problem. You know something? It's the same goddamn thing with the goddamn voting situation. Now we want these kids to vote. Teachers telling them, don't tell your parents this. Don't tell your
And
parents.
you know what? It's correct, because the way it got out was somebody had made a comment and one of the parents heard it and asked her daughter, "Do you have this book?" And she said, "Yeah, go get it. I want to see it." And she was reluctant to go get it, but she got it, and that's how it got out. But it's been going on for 6 years. I don't know how it stayed quiet that long.
You want to stop this problem? You want to stop this problem? I'll tell you how you stop this problem. And I ain't saying this because Deborah's on. Guys like Mark Pakita, Joe Blystone, politicians like that are for God, morals, and family, Doug, in this country. And I'm pretty sure that's the order they'll go in. God, family, and country.
They weren't allowed to take it home.
I mean, what was the penalty if you took it home? What was the penalty? Would you get detention? What'd you get detention for? I took a book home, described about my last orgasm. I'd like to say half these kids don't even know what, but in high school now, in today's world, fuck, it's a free for all. I mean, we got kids getting pregnant in 8th grade, Doug. 8th grade, 9th grade, 8th grade.
Oh boy,
yeah,
that could be a comment that might.
You might get some time in the Facebook jail there, Chaz. Ask fucking Chris Stevens about that one. You might get a letter. That was good having you on, buddy. But the thing of it is the principal, the vice principal, the guidance counselor, along with the school board, should be held accountable.
The email or letter or whatever that went to the school was, "It has come to my attention that your educators are distributing essentially what is called child pornography in the classroom. I've spoken to a judge this evening and she's already confirmed that. So I'm going to give you a simple choice. Either choose to resign from the school board of education or you will be charged."
They should charge them anyways. It doesn't matter if resign or not. They shouldn't have the option. They shouldn't have the option of resigning. They should have the option of, you're done, you're being charged. There's no, and granted, I give the mayor credit. He just lost, and he's going through this, got to deal with this shit. But the option should be this. Guess what? Your option should be what lawyer you're going to pick to defend yourself for this. That's the only option that should be given to these people, Doug.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No.
There shouldn't be an option to resign. Okay, I resign. Never mind if, I allowed that to go in and fuck many kids up. I resigned. That way I'm not charged. They shouldn't have an option. They should be charged.
We did not exercise our due diligence when we received this resource, and we overlooked several prompts that were not appropriate. We felt terrible. You can't unsee
what you see.
The writings.
Can't unsee what you and
that's their comment.
I don't even know what to say. It's they shouldn't have any option. They should be arrested, taken off school board immediately. Emergency hearings should be set up, and school boards appointed to take over and clean this mess up. I can tell you this. I can honestly tell you this. If that kind of shit gets taught out to my grandchildren, I'll probably go to jail. If a school well, I'm not the parent, don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm not the parent, so I got to go through.
Grandparents have a lot of rights.
I know, but what I'm saying is I'll probably go to jail if a teacher told my kid or grandchildren, don't take this book home and don't talk about it at home.
Yeah.
What you gotta wonder what the hell else is being taught. Right, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is, and this is what I mean. You need politicians, like I just said. There's many more that you know. It doesn't matter Democrat or Republican. The both of them are corrupt in the state of Ohio. The leaders of the Democratic Party and the leaders of the Republican Party, they're all corrupt, Doug. They don't want to put somebody in that will fight for the American people. They don't want to put somebody in that don't give a shit about money. They don't care about money. It's not about money to them. It's about what's right for the American people. They don't want people in there like that. So they're blackballing different people. Mark Pekita, Joe Blystone. Joe Blystone just got fucked in. I think Mark was with them. They went somewhere to a rally and they got screwed over. I was reading some of it, got tied up, couldn't read it all. But until we get politicians in place, Doug, that I'm sorry, I don't want to turn a religious show, that believe in country, God, family, and morals, this kind of bullshit we're going to have to put up with.
This is kind of along the same lines as CRT, just in a whole different area.
It's worse than CRT. It's worse. CRT is a terrible thing. One of the worst things you could possibly do. Yeah, I am, Joe. And it's going to go probably independent, to be honest with you. CRT is probably one of the worst things you could possibly have because it promotes discrimination. It promotes racism. It's a terrible thing that should never be taught to children, especially at the ages they're talking. But, Doug, this goes a step further in my eyes. This decimates any morals a parent, grandparent, family member could teach a kid. This decimates any morals in general principle.
I think it was Mark Pekita who said this. I'm not 100% sure that this is one school out of like 600 and some schools. Really, only one school is using this. So there's other schools out there that's using this, and we don't know about it yet.
Well, it probably come to light because you're going to see a whole bunch of school board in different areas having executive. Listen,
Yeah.
So you out there, listen to me. Anytime you hear county commissioners, city councils, school boards, we're having an executive meeting, executive session. You know what that executive session means, Doug? It only means that the public can't hear what the fuck they're talking about. They go behind closed doors, no media or anything. When they rule for an executive session, that means they're talking your public people that you voted in, and they're talking behind closed doors because they're in deep shit and the media can't hear what they're talking about. Remember that. Anytime they go into executive session, you're not going to hear what the hell they're talking. I know this for a fact because I don't give a shit no more. It happened in Mansfield, and that's the first time I was exposed to it. There was a situation happened when I was at the racetrack, and we were in with the county commissioners, and media was around, and county commissioners went into executive session. And I'm going, what the hell is that?
Right.
Boom, everybody out, rooms cleared, doors shut. Nobody knew what the hell we were talking about. And they called it executive session. And it's CRT, yeah, they renamed it in Ohio. But you watch all these school board meetings going to executive session in the next couple of weeks, Doug. Where they at? They're in executive session. They'll be coming out in another 40 minutes. they're in there lying to each other about the lie they're going to tell you. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is an atrocity. And the problem is, this is what's going on in the country.
If
It's 6 years, and we're just finding out about it.
if you have kids in school, you need to be asking this question. I mean, I'm sure there's other types of books out there, but that one's pretty bad. And listen, it can't be just one school in Ohio using this thing.
6 years? In 6 years, nobody said nothing? Or was it, you know? You watch, in 6 years, there's a lot of kids that graduated from that school that come out and are adults now and may be thinking different, may have kids and not want, got young kids, 1, 2 years old, babies, whatever. Now, who knows if they've been teaching that for 6 years, they might have out of school 6 years themselves or 4 years themselves and got 6-year-old kids because look what we're teaching. I'd have never, Tammy, you went to Edison with me. This would have never, back in my day, never been a topic. If you talked about this shit in class or something, asked something, you get your ass. You know what I mean? Sir, teacher, I got a question. What? Well, my last orgasm, is that going to be the best it ever was, or am I going to have a better one in life? Well, it all depends on your partner. You know what I mean? What? Are you serious? COVID, yeah.
Yeah, they can put a camera in there and they can put a TV in there and we can zoom in.
That's a line of bullshit, Julie. I tell you what, that's a line of bullshit because where'd the kid come from? What parent? Let me ask this question, Julie. When Cameron goes to school every day, do you give him a kiss goodbye? What parent? You know what I'm saying, Doug? You give him a kiss. So if you got COVID, guess who's got COVID? Or guess who's asymptomatic and spreading COVID?
But they can put volunteers on Zoom and
yeah. Okay, we got COVID.
Kids.
Put the camera up.
Yeah.
Put the camera up.
Yeah.
See Tammy's answer? Never.
Right.
I mean,
well, I thought it was kind of strange.
Really? Kind of strange, huh? Kind of fucked up's a better term.
So I thought I'd just put it out there to see what people thought.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what Julie's telling me. How stupid do they think we are? I mean, how stupid? Now we got teachers acting like politicians, don't we? It's been going on for years, that is. But we got teachers that think that the parents are so stupid. You really think that Julie and Tammy, when she had kids and everybody, you don't think they kissed their kids goodbye when they come home? They stay away from me. I can't hug you because COVID's out. Stay 6 foot away from me. Are you serious?
Right. I want to make sure we're pronouncing her name right. Is it Deborah?
Deborah. Is she still on, or did she get booted?
I hope she's still on because I got to ask her one more question, and then I'll be done.
Oh man, I'd love to have Mark on here talking about that deal. Woo.
Yeah, I think she might have left.
No, she's not.
Oh, wait, yeah. Are we saying your name correctly, Deborah?
Deborah.
Yep, Deborah.
Okay,
so I have a question because I just caught the tail end of this news. There's a bill that is made its way to the governor's desk, and it's got something to do with the instant bingo machines, and these nonprofits are going to lose these machines for 3 months, which is an income to them, and they use that money for donations to food pantries. They coach for kids, shoes, school supplies, and stuff like that. What bill is it that, and why did that happen? Because it's not clear. They got to stop. They can't do anything. And from January 1st, you can reapply. And then if you're approved, then you can start April 1st.
Because they want to tax it.
I don't know what it doesn't say why.
Well, why else would they?
Well, I'm assuming something went wrong.
It's just like Queen of Hearts that everybody had in the state.
Right.
The government come down on that. Tax. We got to come up with the money we just gave away. Do you remember Biden's campaign promise? There'll be no taxes raised for the middle class. Tell Joe Givens that when his house property value just went up, what, Joe, 40%? Come property tax time, I guarantee you. Joe, you've done good in life, and you've went to work every day and was a responsible person. So what we're going to do is reward you with property taxes up your ass so bad that you're going to have to sell your house. Fucking morons.
So, fraternal organizations are being asked by the state of Ohio to remove their electronic instant bingo machines for at least 3 months, which would impact charity donations. Plus, some of them use it for actually operating because, there's no income coming in. So, for example, this one down here, they donate to the food pantry, the Harmony House, animal shelter, and high school from those machines, and now they're not going to have them.
Well, no, because the government administration we got wants them to depend on them, not, Lord forbid that somebody be generous in this world today.
I just found it. House Bill 65. Copy. Wine. So this is on them.
I guess. I don't know. He hasn't answered me. He must got pissed off because we were bitching about sugar cookies.
Who?
DJ. Nino Vitale popped up, though.
Yes. I did tell you that.
Crooked bastard. He popped up out of the woodwork.
For something good, finally.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was hiding for a long time.
Was he hiding from us?
He was hiding from everybody. Nino Vitale. What's your real name, Nino? We know what your mother's maiden name is. What's your real name? That's what I'd like to know, Doug. What'd you do in college?
Jeez.
You changed your name.
What was his real name?
Inquiry minds would like to know. Be careful who you rubbed elbows with, and what you did when you were on college break, and who you worked with and knew your history. Vitale that's a maiden name of his mother's.
All right.
So I've been told. You probably get fact checked for that. Nino Vitale will call me. You son of a bitch. I finally got you to call me after 18 months, huh?
Right.
Huh? 18
right.
months. Why you call me? Rick Young wanted you to call him 18 months ago, remember?
Right. I just want to let you know.
Yeah. You're calling a guy in Erie County. You represent Champaign County.
Right.
You forgot that. Lake County was on your agenda during the pandemic. You were worried about all the gyms and everything, and everybody in Lake County get a hold of you. But Lord forbid a business in Champaign County that you represent.
You lost audio.
I lost audio?
Or I lost audio.
Huh? Can you guys hear me? Anybody hear me? Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
There's me. They disconnected my headset.
Lord forbid, you answer or even send an email back, or even have an assistant send an email back to Rick Young. Yeah. DeWine. Dictator DeWine. Every time I say something nice about that son of a bitch, it comes back to bite me, doesn't it, Doug?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
The only smart thing I heard, he don't agree with that. And you know what? Hey,
Well, the sugar cookie's still pending.
is it? What were the other ones?
The weirdo cat lovers of Cleveland license plate. They want
Yeah.
to something about the soapbox derby is
Oh, yeah.
a gravity.
Gravity.
type
That's the one I
event.
laughed about. No shit, motherfucker. Don't have a motor or nothing. You think it's going to run uphill? Gravity pulls down.
But it's actually going to be now known for that.
I'm glad they told me that because I was confused.
Deborah, you're going to go back. Deborah, you're going to go back to Facebook jail.
Yeah, send us an email, Deborah. We'll send some commissary money.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder where Chaz went. Is he still here, or did he get popped?
I haven't seen him post for a while.
Yeah, I'm still on this kick with Facebook, how they can allow the Taliban to have a Facebook page, but our former president can't.
I agree.
I'm really on that kick. How they can honestly, in good faith, allow a terrorist organization to have a Facebook page, but our former president can't. Same with Twitter, Doug. And YouTube.
Right.
Lord forbid, hey, YouTube, woo, he mentioned us again.
All right, that's all I got. I apologize for all the issues at the beginning, but
yeah,
at least you got on and you got to start.
It's all part of the agenda. You're right, Tammy. It's all part of the agenda. But what I can't accept, I guess what I won't accept. They're actually an alphabet agency company. Who is?
Uh,
Oh, the Taliban. But what I can't accept, and I guess I'll never accept, is a few things, Doug. The all Facebook, yeah. Zucker fuck. But what I can't. Where's Governor Homo at? You heard nothing out of. I want to say you heard nothing out of New York.
There's a new governor. It's all.
You ain't heard shit out of New York, have you?
No.
The media was on New York every day.
He is gone.
Any people in California? What are you thinking? Yeah, that makes me never want to. I didn't want to go to California before. I don't want to even more now. Wait, you honestly didn't recall that governor? You guys at least had a vote on it.
The thing is the people they're not schooled enough. People don't care. They we gotta this.
Yeah. And Candace Owens is exposing that, Doug.
Yes.
Candace Owens is exposing all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never accept. I will never accept. Did they what? What's he? I don't know what he. But I'll never accept. As far as Facebook page, yeah, Taliban has one. I'll never accept the fact that what you just told me tonight. I'll never accept that at school. Oh boy. Well, I mean, seriously. You had a chance to get a governor that was more of a dictator than what we got in the White House right now, in my opinion. Shutting, he was in agreement shutting power off to business and everything else. And you had a chance to get him out of office and you didn't. I don't know what to even say about that.
Let's go back to last week's conversation with Curtis. And he said something that I think applies today, but it applies to adults. When 9/11 occurred, it didn't mean anything. That happened.
He was
in
pissed
New
off
York.
because they weren't having a cross country meet. Remember, he said that.
Right, and that happened in New York, and of course, he probably watched TV and knew what happened, but it didn't matter. because it didn't affect them. And I think that's what's going on today, that, my neighbor, they just live in their own little world. They don't watch TV. They run around on the street and whatever. And I think a lot of people are like that. Nobody's really diving into it, finding out what the
Asking
issues are,
questions.
and asking
Nobody's
questions and holding people accountable.
nobody's asking questions. And Tammy asked the question in here: when do we start getting pissed off? Lord forbid how I word this, Doug. When do we stand up?
All right.
When do we? When do we? Listen, if you think for a second, this bullshit that they're going to tax the hell out of corporations. You see that, Doug? The filthy rich are going to listen. You tax corporations all you want. You can tax them. I can tell you what they're going to do. Boom, that place shut down. Boom, that place shut down. That place shut down, and it'll be in Mexico, China, all over except for the United States. You want to put us? I agree. The rich should pay taxes, but you got to understand, if it isn't for the corporations running, a lot of us in the middle class don't have jobs, Doug. Don't have jobs. They outsource it because the government is coming down and charging way what they should because of distribution of wealth. And that's their whole agenda, Doug. Distribution of wealth.
Yep.
That's their agenda. You're gonna see Venezuela all over. Go look at them. They're a prosperous country. Remember that? Prosperous country. What did it take them 5 years of socialism? Poverty-ridden. Crime-ridden. One of the top, I know about countries that you shouldn't go to, the most dangerous countries, because my son decided one day that Colombia was a good place to go take a vacation.
Thank God he's back.
Oh, my God. But, I want to talk about your heart going in your throat, but Venezuela's on one of the top 5 countries, most dangerous countries to visit.
Well, they're checking us out, making sure we're not racial.
Who is? Venezuela?
Yeah, they're one
along with China.
Yeah.
Russia. Cuba.
Well, you've been on for 2 hours.
All right. Yeah, I've been on too long.
And I think that Mark Pukita should try to get on.
I want to get a rally. I can tell you that. I sent him a private message. I want to get a rally in this area for Mark Pukita. But, I need to know there's people going to come. I don't want to have a Joe Biden rally where we get it all set up and, 10 people show up.
Right.
I think Rebecca Everett, she went to, I seen pictures of that on her Facebook page. She went to Candace Owens.
Yeah, that's a company. Her name is a company. She's a company.
Let me tell you something. Candace Owens, one smart woman. If she ran, I'd vote for her. I tell you that right now. She don't put up no shit either. You want to talk, this race shit, just go listen to her. She'll tell you all about how it's set up and stuff. But
right. Thanks, Deborah.
What'd she say? You know what? I want to get a Mark Pukita rally set up in Sandusky in this area. And I know there ain't too many people watch, but if you're watching, let us know. We need to set one up. We need to push this because, people like Mark Pukita, Joe Blystone, and guys like this, they need to be put in office to restore morals. Jim Jordan needs to stay in office. They need to be there to restore morals. God, country, and family. I mean, it's got to be restored. There's the only thing that this administration believes in. It isn't God, country, and family. I mean, you've seen what he did with the country. They run it right down the tube. You've seen they don't believe in saying God or anything or Jesus or anything like that. Family, they could give 2 shits less. They're teaching this kind of shit in high school, and it's okay. So the morals are out.
To put it in perspective, Joe Biden is taking better care of those people coming in through the border, since they're going to be voters next year, than
Well,
he
yeah.
is with. It's like he's mad at the American citizens. You will get a vaccination. I don't know of any vaccinations going on down there with them folks.
There's none. And that peppermint patty looking press secretary that he's got walked off. And it's like I said at the beginning of this show. She was asked, if you're mandating the vaccine and putting all these mandates out or else, what about the illegals coming in through the Mexican border and the Afghans you're bringing in? Are they mandated? Are they mandated to get the vaccine?
Right.
And the answer was, she started asking somebody and the guy pushed the issue, and she turned and looked and said, you already know the answer. And the typical response to this administration, walk off stage with her head down, just like her boss.
Oh boy. Jim Jordan is answerable to the people in Ohio. So why not us send him a message and ask him what he thinks about
Let me do it.
Joe.
Hey, Jim, this is Chris Mize from the No BS show, C&D No Bull show. What you what I mean?
We'd like to know what y'all think about that Mark guy and that Joe guy.
No, you know what? Hey, everybody that's on here, let's write Jim Jordan a letter.
Yeah, just ask him what his thoughts are, and would he consider the endorsement?
He wants an ally over in the Senate. Mark Pekita would be one. Mark Pekita is the only guy, and I'm not saying this because you're on, but Mark Pekita is the only, and I watch this shit. He's the only guy got the balls campaigning to go up against state school board. Remember that? He's a bully. Why? Because he come in there and put you on a spot. He's the only guy that's got the balls to tell the GOP in Ohio just what he thinks. That's what I want representing me. Somebody with some balls.
It doesn't take much. You can go to Jim Jordan's website and just pull up the email address, send him an email, and just ask some questions. And I'd like to see him endorse them, because that's huge. That would be huge.
Real big.
Because if you like Jim Jordan and he endorses somebody, you're going to like the people he endorses, because you know that he's going to vet them people.
Well, I watch Jim Jordan. I listen to Mark Pekita. I'm telling you, they'll ask the questions. Why?
He was like Trey Gowdy.
Trey Gowdy was great. I used to love watching YouTube clips of him drilling somebody. But
yeah,
to close it out, Doug, you got something?
I do not. You go ahead. You have the floor.
I have the floor. I had the floor for the first 40 minutes of the show because he couldn't get on.
Right.
To close it out, here's what I want to say. We touched a topic that, once again, Doug threw me off guard, because I asked him on my way home earlier, what are we going to talk about today, Doug? I don't want to get off.
I'll find something.
Yeah, and they're teaching this shit in high schools. Asking questions about...
I thought you knew that.
No. And about murder, sex. How was your last orgasm? And what would you... really, they're teaching this shit in high school. The morals are out the door. And it's been going on, we just found out, 6 years in Hudson. It ain't the only high school, like you say, doing it.
Right. I agree with that. So ask your kids if they have a book they're not allowed to bring home.
Ask your kids or grandkids if this is going on. The other thing I suggest is write Jim Jordan, like we've been saying. We have to back. If you remember, Mark was on here, Doug, 3-4 months ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Pekita was on here. He's not taking one dime of his pay.
Right.
When a guy goes into office and doesn't take pay for going in and doing a civil duty, there's something to be said about that. Joe
Right.
Blystone doesn't need the money to be governor. He's going in to do what's right. Write your congressmen, write your senators, state and federal. You can find their names easily. Find out who your congressman in Ohio, your representative is in your area. Write them every day. Tell them quit worrying about the fucking sugar cookie and the weirdo cat lovers, the Cleveland license plate that's on the floor down there. Worry about these businesses.
Okay, just a heads up. I went to Jim Jordan's website. He's a United States congressman representing Ohio's 4th district. So I'm outside of his district, so it will not let me send him anything. I mean, I can, but they want me to find my own representative.
What's 4th district represent? What areas? Probably none of our areas. We probably, I know, Marcy Captor.
Let me. Your area.
Okay, so people up here, write Jim Jordan. Write them. We need people in office, and it's time. It's time we start asking questions. Tammy,
I have Bill Johnson.
Lucky you.
Me and him, we have a nice relationship. I told him what I thought.
Write these people. Oh boy. I love that, Joyce Beatty. Write these people. If we don't do something, Tammy, you asked, what can we do? How do we get these people out of office before it's too late? The left side, the Democratic Party, is not the Democratic Party I knew. They should rename that party the Socialist Party of Ohio and the Socialist Party of the United States. That's what they should write it as. Pay attention to the Republicans that are in office, because you got some of them that are just as bad, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
They're wolves in sheep clothing. Keep up, research, ask questions, ask your politicians questions, all the way down to your township trustees.
Okay, Jim Jordan has an office in Lima, Ohio, Norwalk, Ohio, and Bucyrus, Ohio.
Maybe we should go to Norwalk, Ohio, and try to meet with him.
If he's over there.
He's got to have somebody there, right?
True.
Right? Am I wrong?
No.
Our tax money's paying for somebody to be in that office.
Right.
Other than that, people, when you hit your pillows tonight, pray for this country. That's all I can say. Pray for this country, because it took a downturn. When you got like I say, a guy that just graduated high school, that was it, and concerned like I am, and can keep up on a lot of this, there's no reason why you guys can't. Ask questions. The state of Ohio got so sick of me and Doug calling last year, and I'm sure Swearingen and Gavarone, all of them did, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
That's what you got.
Here he is, Walter Putin. Man, they look alike. Other than that, I want to say a quick shout out and a prayer to Dale Lawson. I don't know if any of them are watching. Carl owner at Sandusky Speedway in the Pierce Stocks. He's going in for surgery tomorrow. So I want to shout out to him. I hope everything goes good. Other than that, Doug, I got nothing.
All right.
God bless America.
We'll see ya.